Hello YouTube land. There's only one reason you're here today. Obviously you want some palacinke. Pancakes, Croatian palacinke, not pancakes. In Croatian they call palacinke. Everywhere else they call crepes, but Croatians have to do things differently, don't they? Hello to all my Croatian friends. My wife is Croatian. I woke up today, Sunday morning, and I had a request for palacinke. So why not, let's show you how to do it. Let's get stuck into it. So I've got 3 big eggs in here. It's either 4 small eggs or 3 and a bit big eggs. So I'm actually going to do like 3.5 large eggs, just to be difficult. So I'm just going to crack another egg in a little bowl. Bye-bye. Now you might just say, why don't you just put 4 in? Well, because I did do that once, and my Croatian friend said, well, I can taste the egg, so I'm not going to do that. All right, so let's go in with half another egg. So that's kind of equivalent to 4 small eggs, all right? And we can feed that to someone who wants it. Okay, give them a quick whisk. Yeah, you can use a beater if you want to, but why not get your gym workout in first thing on Sunday morning? Okay, so next we're going in with a tablespoon of sugar. And we're going to beat this until we get a nice, light, creamy, airy texture. It might take a couple of minutes. Okay, so I've been mixing that for 25 minutes. Just kidding, it's been like 2 minutes. That's all you need, just a nice little bit of fluff and well incorporated. Okay, so now we're going in with 250 mils of regular cow's milk. One step is very, very important to do when you're making palacinke, which most people won't tell you. Used to have a coffee when you're doing it. Because it makes them taste better. Okay. All right. Next, we need 250 grams of all-purpose flour. Now, I've got my scales and my sieve set up, and I've got that zeroed because I want to sieve the flour. So, and this is just all-purpose flour. Okay, 256 is not going to hurt us. That's already been sieved. And it goes. And in goes the rest. Beautiful. Now, this is still going to be quite thin mix, so you can use a wooden spoon if you want, or you can keep going with your whisk. Look at those eggs giving it really, really nice colour. So, you know, you don't need to beat this too much. Everybody says when you're making pancakes and stuff, don't beat it too much because you're going to develop the gluten too much, etc., etc. But you know what? With palacinke, it's nice to have a little bit of bite, a little bit of chew. That really makes it a much better experience. With these, I prefer to mix it in really, really well. So next we're going in with half a teaspoon of bicarb of soda. As it says on my label there, and my label inside, which I had there before I wrote that one, so we can actually get rid of that one now. Don't need that. Half a teaspoon, where are we? And next we need just a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. There's a little bad boy right there. Give that a little. Okay, so next we've got 250 mils of water. We're going to add that gradually, a little bit at a time. It's pretty easy to remember, really. 250 mils milk, 250 mils water, 250 grams flour. Just go in a little bit at a time. Now the colour of my mix is quite yellow because I'm using a really beautiful pasture raised egg, and it's got such a beautiful red colour. So yours might not look so yellow. If it doesn't, don't worry, you've done nothing wrong. As you know, eggs vary a huge amount depending on their diet. And we'll go with the rest. And if you've never made this before, this is a very, very different texture to pancakes, okay? So that is looking very normal. It's exactly how you want it. It's not meant to be thick. And next we're going to go with some vegetable oil, which I'm going to weigh out in just a moment. So you can use vegetable oil if you like, but I'm just using a light olive oil because we don't use seed oils in this house. We've banned seed oils. So a light olive oil, 50 mils, is not going to add any flavour to this at all. So I wouldn't put an extra virgin olive oil in there because you'll definitely get a bit of a flavour, but light olive oil is a lot better for you. And that is basically your recipe done. So the second part of this is the cooking, and it's actually equally as important. Again, you're not going to cook this like a pancake and put it in there. It's got to be hot and it's got to cook quick, and you're going to get flips, so you've got to get ready. Get your butter ready, get your pan ready, get your plate to put it on ready, get your spatula, because it's going to happen fast. So I'll take you over and show you how to do that. Okay, now you've got to get your station ready, okay? Because like I said, this is going to happen quick. So what I've got my mix over here. I've got something that I'm going to use to ladle it into my pan. I've got my plate to put my cooked palacinke, something to flip, and I've got my butter. This pan is quite hot. Most of you know when you make pancakes and palacinke like this, the first one is kind of ruined because you don't know how hot it is. So you've got to kind of test the waters, but you can generally feel it. You get used to your pans and your gas cookware. Okay, so that's not quite hot enough. I'm just going to let that get a little bit hotter. I don't have a crepe pan, obviously. I've got my steel pan here, so it looks a little bit haggard, but it's one of the best pans I've got. Okay, so that feels hot enough, so I'm going to go in with the first one. Now, don't be shy, okay? Butter, you can use oil if you want. So once I'm in, I'm going to spread that around. If you want to get fancy, you can go and get yourself one of those crepe tools and spread it around and so forth, but no need to be fancy here. It's almost ready to flip. You see the bubbles coming up on top. That's the same kind of method to the pancakes. You'll see the bubbles coming up and it's ready to flip. So that's all sort of drying out on top now, so that's my signal to flip. And that is a really nice colour for a palacinke, as most of you have had this before will know. And this doesn't need much cooking. It's pretty much cooked. All I'm doing now is adding colour. And that one is pretty much done. First one ready, and look at that, it's not even ruined. So I'm going to turn that down a little bit because it is getting a little bit hot. This pan does hold its heat really, really well, so once you get that spot, that sweet spot, you can just keep going with the rest. Do another one to show you. And yes, I probably will get myself a proper crepe pan to make life easier. And when you get a proper crepe pan, you don't get all these little jagged edges, but they don't worry us. Once you've got plenty of jam and whatever your favourite topping is on top of them, you're not going to see the jagged edges. You roll it up and you, beautiful. Still going, nearly there, I'm nearly there. Okay, ready to flip. Beautiful. So once you get into a routine, you can really pump these out pretty quickly. Another one done. I actually like them too when they've cooled off, because the texture changes. As I was saying before, excuse me, as I was saying before, with the flour that you use, I like a little bit of chew. So when they cool off, you can really notice that chew a little bit better. If you eat it now, it's just kind of break. But not to say that it's not nice. It's definitely nice to eat now, but personally, I prefer it when it's cooled off a little bit and you get that nice little stretchiness to it. So now we're going to show you how to eat it. Well, I'm not going to eat it because I'm on a diet. Anyway, we have said hazelnut spread, one smear right down the middle. I'm going to fold it in half like that and then roll it. Maybe in your younger years you had experience rolling things like this.